Now that you understand why protein is essential, this lesson is all about helping you actually hit those protein goals without feeling confused, overwhelmed, or stuck eating the same two foods every day. Most women don't struggle with wanting to eat more protein. They struggle with how to make it work in real life with kids, work, travel, stress, limited appetite, or just old habits that aren't serving them anymore. So let's simplify this. We're going to cover three things. One, what protein is made of, amino acids, and why the quality of your protein matters just as much as the quantity. Two, how different diets, preferences, and habits affect your protein intake and how to work around those challenges. And then three, creative, realistic ways to hit your protein targets, even if you're busy, picky, plant-based, or tired of eggs. Let's start with the basics. Protein is made of amino acids. Think of them as tiny building blocks. There are 20 different amino acids, and 9 of them are essential, which means that your body cannot make them. You must get them from food. Animal proteins like chicken, eggs, yogurt, turkey, fish, beef, they all contain all 9 essential amino acids in the amounts your body needs. This makes them complete proteins. Plant proteins, on the other hand, are usually incomplete. They're missing 1 or more essential amino acids, most commonly leucine, which is the amino acid responsible for triggering muscle protein synthesis, the signal your muscle needs to stay strong. This doesn't mean you can't eat enough protein on a plant-based diet. It just means that you have to be more intentional. You may need to combine foods like rice and beans, tofu and edamame, lentils and quinoa, or rely more heavily on plant-based protein powders to reach that leucine threshold. Protein quality matters. It determines how well your body can actually use the protein. Now, let's talk about hitting your protein goal, because understanding protein and eating enough protein are two different things. The most common challenge I see is breakfast. Most people grew up on oatmeal, cereal, fruit, toast, pastries, or 2 eggs and bacon. None of that gets you close to the 30 grams of protein that you need in the morning. So here are some simple swaps. If you love oatmeal, don't worry, you don't have to give it up. Just upgrade it. Stir in a scoop of whey protein or collagen after it cooks, or cook it with high protein milk like Fairlife. You can even whisk in egg whites while it's still cooking. It makes the oats fluffy and adds about 10 to 15 grams of protein. Or put a big scoop of Greek yogurt or even cottage cheese on top for another 15 to 20 grams. Hey, I know it sounds weird, but don't knock it till you try it. If you're sick of eggs, try something different. Greek yogurt bowls, cottage cheese bowls, chia pudding with fruit, overnight oats with chia, protein pancakes, high protein smoothies, turkey sausage, tofu scrambles, or even leftovers from dinner. There's nothing wrong with having steak for breakfast. Breakfast doesn't have to look like traditional breakfast. In fact, dinner foods in the morning can be a protein lifesaver. If you're busy in the morning, this is where convenience foods can help. Make smoothie packs for the freezer. Keep high protein yogurts on hand. Prep overnight oats or egg whites. Use protein coffee, like literally just add protein shake as your creamer. Or grab a few slices of turkey and cheese with fruit. If you're plant-based, combine proteins intentionally. Lentils with quinoa, tofu with edamame, beans with brown rice, or use plant-based protein powders to guarantee that you're getting all the essential amino acids. Just know that plant-based protein requires more volume to equal the same muscle building effect as animal protein. Look to see what plants have leucine in them and be sure to add that in additionally. And if you're on a GLP-1 and your appetite is low, protein becomes even more important, but also more challenging. So the trick is to choose protein-dense foods that don't require large portions. Think Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, protein shakes, bone broth, eggs, tuna, or small smoothies. Liquids often go down easier when your appetite is low. Now, let's talk about the hacks that make protein effortless. One of my favorite things is using the Ninja Creami to make high protein ice cream. Take a high protein shake, freeze it, and then you blend it. And suddenly you have a dessert with 30 grams of protein that tastes like real ice cream. I'll leave a link on a Ninja Creami below. Another trick is if you're someone who eats like 2 eggs in the morning, Add low-fat cottage cheese to your scrambled eggs. It melts into them and adds a creamy, cheesy flavor while nearly doubling the protein. If you're like me and you love rice, cook your rice or grains in high-protein bone broth instead of water. You get extra protein without even thinking about it. Choose high-protein breads. Choose yogurt with 15 to 20 grams per serving. Add hemp seeds or nuts to meals. Sneak in protein into your sauces, soups, smoothies, and baking. Now, let's address one of the biggest hidden problems that sabotages women in midlife: grazing. Constant snacking keeps insulin elevated, which makes fat loss much harder. It also disrupts gut motility, the cleansing wave that moves food along your digestive tract, which can cause constipation. This is because your body only activates that system when you've gone a few hours without eating. Spacing meals 3 to 4 hours apart helps stabilize blood sugar, support gut health, and prevent mindless snacking. When you graze all day, your body never gets the metabolic rest it needs. But if you do need a snack, choose protein-forward snacks like yogurt, cottage cheese, beef jerky, or any kind of jerky, I guess, cheese, edamame, nuts, or protein bars. One of my go-to for high-quality protein bars is called David. One of my go-to high-quality protein bars that is high in protein, flavorful, and low sugar, because you do have to look out for the sugar added to protein bars, is called David. So I'll link that below. When it comes to getting protein in, you can be creative and not have to give up some of your favorite foods. What I like to do is find healthier, high-protein recipes for my favorite comfort foods. For pasta, I will use a brand called Kaizen, which I will link below. It's one of the few brands that doesn't spike my sugar compared to some of the other protein pastas that I see at the grocery store. For pizza, I use ground chicken as the crust. You can even do that with tacos. For bread, I sometimes will use Ezekiel, Dave's Killer Bread, or Heroes, or just straight up sourdough. I also like to make protein pancakes, protein brownies, protein dressing or sauces, and protein desserts like the Ninja Creamy. You can get creative with this. Below this video, I will include some of my favorite recipes. So here's a challenge for you this week. Pick the meal that is the hardest for you, usually breakfast for people, and hit 30 grams of protein there every day. Or just spend 3 days tracking your protein to see where the gaps are. Once you know what's missing, you can fix it. Protein is the foundation of metabolism, muscle, energy, weight control, and healthy aging in midlife. When protein goes up, everything gets easier, and this week, you're going to practice making that a reality. Last thing is, one of my favorite apps is called Resime. I'll leave a link below. And you can collect a bunch of recipes that way if you're someone who likes to collect recipes. And if you come up with any recipes that you just love, absolutely share that with me so I can share that with all my other patients. All right, see you in the next one.